All right. Welcome back to Toilets, Two Titles. We took a week off. We were rolling. Well, we took a week off kind of because Justin's been hammering out. If you follow us on YouTube, because he's been hammering out team breakdowns, off-season breakdowns. I actually did one today. We'll get into those. Week off kind of, but we're back regardless. We are back with episode number 15. This is the Bathroom Board, episode 1. We plan on doing this yearly. This is episode 1 of the Bathroom Board. As always, before I introduce my co-hosts, you can find us at Toilets to Titles on Twitter. But with me are my guys, and it's happy to be back. To my right or left, depending on which way you look at it, is Justin at JustinFF_. Justin, what's cooking?
Hey, Coach, how's it going tonight? I'm excited about tonight's episode because it's going to be a fun one. It's not all about numbers and analytics and anything that we had to deeply prepare for. It's really about trying to show each other up with what we really truly believe. So I love it. Yeah,
we're gonna go at it. We're gonna go at it a little bit. Another guy that I'm gonna go at it with is my man on my other side. I'm not even gonna say which side because I don't know what's going on in my brain tonight. But it's the Dirt Man at Nate_Dirt19. Nate, what's cooking?
Besides me, nothing. It's been a very, very warm week, but I think there's supposed to be a little nicer tomorrow, so it'll be good for everybody. So. Like I said, it's been nice. It's been a while since I feel like we've got to talk, and I'm excited for tonight.
Awesome, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to roll. We got a fun thing coming up. I'm not even going to tease everything. We'll just take one thing at a time. As always, you can find us if you want to listen to us on Apple Podcasts, on Podbean, on Periscope, on Spotify, and if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, we appreciate that. Smash the like button and share that thing. And we appreciate it, especially when you're live. We always tweet out when we're going to go live and when you're in here, and we got some comments. There's nothing better than that. It keeps this thing rolling. I do want to make a mention about Fantasy Cares. Every 50 followers this season, we made a pledge that will donate $10 per 50 followers. And we already hit 53 times. And that's like, in a month or two since we did this thing? That's 150 new followers. So our next target is 389. We're currently at $30, so we're doing a running total. We'll be at 40 when we hit 389, and we're currently at 343. So we're 46 followers away from that. We really appreciate that. The main thing, right, is we're going to help somebody. But you are helping us help somebody, drawing some attention to the show. But at the end of the day, we are going to donate that money, and it'll help somebody. So we appreciate that. I want to give a little plug to my man who's been grinding, Justin over. Oh well, I'm sorry. Let's do John Morefoot, J Rock. No, it's good. It's good. He has been grinding too. We didn't talk about him earlier. I've been meaning to for the Frankenstein League. If you go and look at the Toilets to Titles Twitter handle and you look at the banner, John Morefoot at J Rock 1 T2T. He did that banner, and then he also did a banner for the My Fantasy League. He also does wallpapers. He does team logos, all that good stuff. He does Twitter avatars, and he was so easy to work with, and we really appreciated him. This is the first time we did it, and we kind of wanted something special. And I don't know, you guys, you tell me what you think, but I think it was special. I think it fit exactly what we tried to encompass with our league.
I think he did awesome. Like I said, I the first time I saw it, I thought it was perfect, and I said I think it was great, and I appreciate it. It looks awesome.
I'm going to try to show it actually for anybody here that's watching. Real quick.
Again, if you're not watching, you can also go to @Toilets to Titles and you can see. But Justin's showing the actual how it looks on My Fantasy League. You won't be able to see that completely. But unless you're watching on the YouTube channel, or if you're listening, that's incentive to go to our YouTube channel and watch. Go to the YouTube channel and fast forward to about 4 minutes and 30 seconds in, and you'll be right here. All right. But it is clean as hell. We got the Frankenstein. We got our logo. And, again, that's a league that we want to do yearly. And hoping next year I don't know if we talked about this, but we're going to stick with the monster theme. We're going to keep the Frankenstein rolling, and then we might go to like have a Dracula spinoff. We're going to try to have multiple listener leagues. We'll try to have, maybe just 2, depending on how much we grow. Do like a mummy, it'll all be Frankenstein based, but each league will be specified by the monster that we give to that league. So thanks again, John. At JRock1T23 on Twitter. Check them out if you need anything done for your leagues. I suggested all my leagues. I pay extra to get this stuff done. But all my leagues, fictional, Too Legit, these guys are in them. I feel like just having a clean looking, what is it called, wallpaper banner, it adds to the feeling, it adds to the feel of the league. What do you guys think?
It shows that commission's going to put in a little extra effort, so I like it.
I don't care. I just think it looks cool. You know what I mean? I like logging in and seeing something cool. In Too Legit, we have it's like an 80s themed, and that was before Thor Ragnarok and before Wonder Woman. Like all this 80s neon light became cool. Like we were ahead of the time. But that's what we got. We got the neon logo. We got the DeLorean in there. Transformers, Thundercats. The divisions I think are Thundercats, Thriller division, and there's one more. And my team logo is super sweet. It's called the SAS Squad, and I got I think who do I have as I think I have Bill Belichick as Prince. No, I got Aaron Rodgers as David Bowie. Pretty sassy squad. But anyway, I digress. I could get deep into all my thinking in my mind when creating this stuff, but you need a guy like JRock1T23 to be able to put this stuff on paper and make it work. So another dude who's been grinding, Justin, the individual team breakdowns. You need to go onto YouTube and check all these out. How many teams have you done so far?
I've only done 9. It's just that whenever I do them, I usually knock out like 3 or 4 in one night because I like write them over throughout the week and then record them all in one night. So it seems like it's been a lot more than it really has been. But yeah, I'm done with 9, and I'm about halfway through the write-up for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. So they'll be next.
We're at 10 because I did one today finally. But I'm not going to lie. Justin, you've been hammering them out, and I've been kind of intimidated after watching a few years. I didn't want to drop the ball. You know what I mean? And I did the Cowboys, which is like low-hanging fruit for me because I could have done that in my sleep. So doing the rest of the NFC East won't be too hard for me as well because I know them pretty good. But if I venture out from there, it might be a little difficult because I'm not so much a numbers guy, and I feel like doing the individual team breakdowns, you need numbers. I'm more of a watch the players, like the players, or dislike the players guy.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That's why I started with the Colts and the AFC South, and I'm not gonna lie, it did feel a lot more natural, and I do think that my best episode was spent in the first episode. so, but that's all right though. We're getting out a lot of good information, and it's mostly all opinion. I mean, it's fantasy football, so we're telling everybody how we feel, and then they can decide if they want to listen to us or not, and go from there. But I know that some people have appreciated it. I have gotten some good feedback, so I know that that people are watching and enjoying it. So we'll roll with it. We'll do our best to try to get them all knocked out before the season starts. At the very least, we'll make sure that we get out the 2 teams that are playing Thursday night football, just so that buys us a few more days to maybe get a couple more in.
I'm gonna start either tomorrow night or Sunday, depending on how stuff. But with the NFC North, and I don't know, maybe from your guys' words, I will do the Packers first. I was gonna kind of do them later, so I get rid of the trash first and then do my team. But that's okay.
Well, I already have the thumbnail made up for you, so make sure you get it in.
I will.
I haven't seen my thumbnail yet for the Cowboys one.
Yeah, I was really tired after work today. I took a little nap before we went on. I'll get it after the show.
No sweat. I'm just saying. I'm interested to see what that is.
Yeah, it's sharp. It's nice. I like it.
Sharp. All right. I like anything sharp to do with me. Sharp is a good way to describe things. You ever get told you look sharp, or you're involved with something that looks sharp? That's a good compliment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It didn't even take a lot of editing.
Now, just so you know, if you're listening to this and you don't follow us on YouTube, what these are is they're like 15 to 20-minute clips talking about the studs in the team, breakout players, people that are going to flop, and then some IDP names to know. Am I missing anything else?
No, originally you had put something about backups to watch for, and
Right.
when I recorded my first couple, I missed that. I didn't see it, so I decided not to roll with it altogether. But then I got to a couple of teams where I wish I had went back and done it, so I've kind of picked that up and picked it back up again, and I'm just kind of adding it at the end. But we might make that another part, like another little segment of it. We're only talking like 10 to 20-minute videos, so it's not that much to add in who the key backups are to target in those later rounds.
All right, so that's why you need to go check these out. They're quick. You can hammer them out. And then, if there's a team, your team, you just want to hear people talk about your team, put it on. If there's a team you don't know much about, you want to hear somebody talk about them, put them on. It could help you. So check that out. That's on YouTube. That's another reason. That's bonus content that we're dropping for you over on YouTube. All right, we're going to have a little fun. I kind of improv'd a little bit prior to the episode. I was like, tonight's going to be a real fun episode. Let's add some things. On my old show, Dynasty Warzone, when I was the host there, I used to do little mock drafts. I actually got it from the Fantasy Football Fellas. They did it on an episode. I thought it was a great idea. So we're going to do a 5-round character mock draft, cartoon character, any cartoon character, and then we're going to get into the bathroom board. And this is snake style. Nate's got the first pick. Justin's got the second. I have the third, and then I go back with the first pick in the second round. So we're just going to get right into this thing. Any cartoon character, this is going to help you get into the child, the inner child of us, or maybe the inner adult, because there are definitely some adult cartoon characters I'm sure that are going to pop up. So Nate, you got the first pick in our first annual cartoon character draft. What are you thinking, man?
Well, I was thinking earlier, when I was a kid growing up, what I liked, but I think more recently, and not just recently, for the last quite, 8, 10 years or better, I'm going to go with Randy Marsh. He's my dude. I think he's hilarious. And every single episode I love it every time.
I don't even want to show you my whole list, but he's number one. How do you, Nate, I think it's a running thing with us. You constantly, and I haven't even mentioned this. So you're just inside my head.
I'm coming, man. You better watch out.
He's one of the funniest characters on television. His character evolution been phenomenal. Like, one of my favorite ones is when in the there's so many of them, but the one where he's the World of Warcraft episode. I don't know if you watched that, where he's got to Stan's got to save his dad, from this bully, and he's acting like he's dying in real life, but when his character, dude, he's so funny, man. I watched the last season. I didn't like it too much with the Integrity Farm, and I liked some of the older seasons, but he is funny as hell. So I was going to say the S word there, but I didn't. Justin, you're up with the second pick.
Man, see, Coach, this is where I was saying that it really depends on the direction that Nate goes on where I go. And now I got in the back of my mind trying to think about you having 2 picks in a row after me. Because honestly, to be honest with you, my top, I can't take it now because he went with Randy Marsh. And he's not my top, but my top was actually Eric Cartman. But I don't feel like I want to go Cartman. Yeah, I don't want to double up. So now that totally changes everything. And I think you guys will get a real insight of my personality when you read my list. But I'm going to have to start off with I'm going to go with Peter Griffin from Family Guy.
Okay, I like that one. That's, we both of you went adult. And Peter Griffin is another guy who's classic, about as American as apple pie, Peter Griffin. And I think South Park, it was like The Simpsons made way for South Park. South Park made way for Family Guy. It's just as dirty, but almost more adult. You know what I mean? South Park, I think I started watching it in 5th grade. I thought it was it was look at a kid show. Family Guy is an adult show. Point blank. Peter Griffin, excellent selection. I going to start with Goku. All right. It was either Goku or Vegeta. And this is from Dragon Ball Z. If you don't watch Dragon Ball Z, I watch it as an adult and watched it as a kid. So it's a mixture of both. I watch it with my son. Goku is like the anime version of Superman, and he would kick Superman's ass. Like, it's not even close. There's no one in the Marvel Cinematic Universe who would even hold his jockstrap. So Goku, he's funny. I've watched him evolve from a little child to a grown man to a father. And any of you guys know who Dragon Ball Z? Either of you two?
Nope. No, not my favorite.
On Blu-ray, I suggest it's for any show I've ever watched. The progression, like, you starts out with Goku as like a 7-year-old, and now there's like 16 seasons and he's a father, and like all the characters around him have developed pretty good. But I'm not going to talk too long on him. I'm going to go. So that's kind of, even though it's a kid show, I watched it as an adult. I'm going to go to my inner child. I'm going to go to Tommy Pickles from Rugrats. That kid, man. When I was a kid, I remember Touchdown Tommy. That was probably one of my favorite episodes. The dads are watching a Thanksgiving game. The Cowboys are on the TV. I don't even know who they're playing. It was probably the Packers. And everyone else has chocolate milk, and Angelica's trying to get it from Tommy. And Tommy, all the other kids are trying to drink some before Angelica gets it, and they're throwing it around like a football. Tommy had swag. Tommy was brave. You know, he wasn't afraid to stick his nose in there and stick up for what he believed in. So Tommy Pickles is my second pick. I'm feeling good with Goku and Tommy Pickles here. Justin, you had Peter Griffin. Where are you going?
So I mentioned Rugrats earlier to you guys to kind of try to throw you to the right because I was going to jump to the left here. But before I do, Anthony Rayner on YouTube is saying Butters is his number one.
That's me and Reiner. We played high school football together, just so you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
He's the host of the Fantasy Fan podcast, and we're actually in sleeper pro draft together. So Butters is, you know who I like better than Butters? Mr. Chaos or Professor Chaos. He's funny.
Okay, yeah. So all four of us were kind of in the same line. Like, we're all kind of thinking South Park here, but I tell you what, since you went classic with Rugrats, the reason I asked you the question, are we drafting an entire show or a particular character, was because I wanted to go towards the classic, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So since I have to select one, I've got to select Michelangelo, the party dude.
Oh, yeah.
So I get Michelangelo in the second round.
The party dude. That's it. Michelangelo, the party dude. You know, and that also means that you watch the 80s version of the show, which was the best version of the show, because that's in the intro. You know, Michelangelo is a party dude.
That's right. And I am the classic 80s version of this show, so it makes sense.
Okay, I love it. And that's the best one, 80s version. And Michelangelo, do you remember Mondo Gecko?
Yes, I do. Yeah, yes.
He was in like one or two episodes. He was like a lizard on a skateboard. He was like a bad guy, kind of. And then him and Michelangelo became boys, and they were just skating in the sewers together. And I would watch that. I had that episode. Like, I had a VHS with like 3 or 4 random episodes on it, and that was one of them. And I would just watch that over again. And I want to grow up to be Mondo Gecko. That's what I wanted to be. Look at me now, kids. Nate, you're up with the third pick in the second round, and then you get the first pick in the third round. So what are we doing?
Man, I think this is more something I was a fan of. I had some friends, I think, that watched it, but Hey Arnold was one of the shows I really enjoyed as I was a little kid. Like I said, Rugrats is my favorite, and Tommy Pickles was my guy, but Arnold Shortman is his name, but Hey Arnold, I loved it, and for some reason, I don't really know why I liked it so much, but I always watched it. Every time it was on, I was watching it. So that's my number 2, I think.
Hey, football head.
Yeah, exactly.
Stoop kid's afraid to leave the stoop. And I remember, what was the name of the baseball player? Remember when he like snuck out of school one day to go see there was a baseball player retiring. I forget his name, but it was classic. Well, how about the creepy guy who would just breathe?
It was just
what was that? You remember that guy?
I don't remember most of the guys' names though, because it's been probably 15 or not 5 like that.
I remember Gerald. Gerald was like, if your best friend didn't have your back like Gerald had Arnold's back, then he wasn't a good friend. You know?
Yeah.
All right, who's your first pick in the third round?
This was tough. I was thinking there's a couple. I think what I'm going to do here is Cleveland Brown from Family Guy. I wasn't a big fan of like the Cleveland Brown show or whatever it was, but just Cleveland and Family Guy. I was always a fan. He's funny, just the way his voice makes me laugh, and that's where I'm going for number 3.
I was always disappointed when they split the shows up.
Yeah, I thought that
such
was kind of garbage.
I mean, everybody deserves a spinoff.
What's that?
Everybody deserves a spinoff.
Yeah, but Peter and Cleveland,
I just think they tried a little too hard. Should have just let it be.
They should have let it be, man. They should have just created a new show. All right, so we got Cleveland and Peter. So Family Guy is the first show with 2 characters in it. It could have been South Park, but it wasn't. It was Family Guy. So Justin, you're up with the second pick in the 3rd round.
So I think I want to try to start a little run here and get another show with 2 characters. I have a feeling if I take this character, one of you 2 might take the other big character by the end. I don't know. But if not, I might take him in the last round too. But I'm going to go with Homer Simpson.
Okay, so Homer Simpson was a little before my time. I like, so the show, when I think of The Simpsons, I'm a big Disney Universal guy, and there's a Simpsons area. So The Simpsons have a place in my heart, but I didn't watch I never sat down and watched it weekly. Like I watched Treehouse of Horror, I watch episodes occasionally, but my favorite thing with The Simpsons was the arcade game. Like the Simpsons arcade game was one of the best arcade games of all time. Bart's got the skateboard, and then as I got older, I found out that you could do partner moves, which I had no idea when I was a kid. Like Homer could pick up Bart and swing Bart at the bad guys, and there's levels to this game I haven't. So Homer Simpson's a dude. He belongs on. He should have went in the 1st round probably. All right, so I'm up with the 3rd pick. I'm going to go with the guy who should have been the 1st overall, and that's Scooby-Doo. All right, I went with Goku early on, but Scooby-Doo is the dude, man. I watched that with my kids. Me and my son, we used to from when he was 1, I would just sit. I had the old Scooby-Doo, not the new one, the original on DVD, and we would just sit back and kick it and watch 30-minute Scooby-Doo films. And then as he got older, there's all those movies, but anything past 2000, I want nothing to do with. Give me old 80s style cartoon or 70s or 60s. Scooby-Doo, classic.
Yeah, I had the mystery van when I was a kid with all the little figurines and stuff. Absolutely.
Now, so my next one, this one's kind of hard because I know I only got one more pick after this. I got a bunch of names here, and man, this is really hard. So I got Goku, right? So that's my anime, my action. I got Tommy Pickles. That's classic. I got Scooby-Doo, which is classic as well. So do I go classic here, or do I go newer? It's really tough. I might take this pick for my son, and I'm going to go with Pikachu from Pokemon, because this came out when I was in, I want to say middle school, Pokemon on TV. I was big into the game, big into the cards, but my son watches all that stuff now, and I think he'd really appreciate me taking Pikachu. And Pikachu is he's a household name right now. He's got his own balloon in the Macy's Day Parade. So, he's a household name. So that was my pick in the 4th round. And now, Justin, you got the 2nd pick in the 4th round. Who are we taking?
I've got to stay on brand here. I'm going to go. But it's because since I've grown up, the only cartoons I watch are these adult cartoons. I'm going to go with Futurama. My favorite character on Futurama is Bender. So I'm going with Bender. The dude is hilarious.
Another show. Did they stop? Did that show stop though? It's over, right?
I think it stopped a long time ago, but you can still find it on Netflix or Hulu or something like that. That's
a show when I couldn't sleep. I never sought it out, but I would sit and watch it. I remember there's one episode I liked is they were went to a different planet to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but it was for some sort of slurm or this green beverage, and it was good. That's pretty classic. Nate, you're up for the 3rd pick in the 4th round, and then you also get the 1st pick in the 5th round. What are we doing?
I'm gonna go back to the well here, like Anthony said, and I got to take Butters. He actually was pretty close to being like almost my number one, just because there's an episode that I really, really enjoy, and a lot of my good buddies and I made reference to it, but where Butters is press and pickle, and I can't go into it on the show because it's probably not really appropriate, but yeah, he's my guy. I love it so much. So it's a toss up for the favorite though, but taking him late in the draft.
Good pick.
So who's your pick in the 5th round now?
So this is actually not just, I guess this is from a movie, but it's cartoon characters. And this is one of my favorite movies. And I still even, I think now will enjoy it, and looking forward to, one day enjoying it with the little one that's going to be here pretty soon. But Monsters, Inc. was one of my favorites, and, still solid. And it's another close one, but Mr. James P. Sullivan was my guy in Monsters, Inc.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he was trying to learn how to be scary, things like that, and he's just a big teddy bear. And that was my guy.
Have you seen Monsters University?
No, I haven't. I haven't watched the movie for I don't know how long.
Banger. Monsters Inc. is a banger. Monsters University is a banger. You know what you should do? Since you have that little one on the way, wait till your little one's old enough to enjoy it, and then watch Monsters University. You think Monsters Inc. is rarely, especially with Disney movies, is the second as good or even in the same category as the first. This one, right there. Yeah. And then we'll get you to Disney World, and we'll get you to the Monsters Inc. laugh floor.
Oh, we'll be going down there.
You'll really dig it. All right, Sully, I like that pick. We needed a Disney character on here, so now I don't feel so bad disrespecting the mouse if I don't put him on here.
Yeah.
Jeff, who's the second pick in the 5th round?
Well, Nate, my heart dropped just a little bit whenever you said you were going the movie route, because I had already written down my 5th thinking that nobody else would think to go the movie route. I'm glad you went with Sully, because that was like the first kids movie that my son really appreciated. So we watched that together a lot when he was younger. So that was really awesome. But I was going a little bit different direction with Tow Mater from Cars.
Disney's holding this one down to Mater. So I like
the cable guy made that movie famous.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely love Tow Mater.
Now, Disney in California, they have a whole Cars land. So, he's got his own ride. It's my kids never really got into Cars, and we love Disney. But I need to give it a chance. I need to sit down and watch. I think we watched like the 3rd one, and we didn't really like it. But I need to watch the first one, because I'm telling you, my wife will confirm, and I watch all the Disney movies with my kids. Like I have no shame. And we haven't watched. Oh, you got it, 100%.
Yeah. My nephew Cars. That's the only time I saw it was with both of them. So
all right. We're gonna end the draft with my final selection. 2 Disney picks. Do I go? I might go Disney just because this is the Disney round. I'm going to go with Alice. Alice in Wonderland, that is a classic. Probably one of my favorite. It was either Alice or Peter Pan. Those are like 2 of my favorite Disney movies. And Alice, that movie is, you can watch it as a kid. You can watch it as an adult. She's the main character. Like, not many movies is it just, the Mad Hatter's in there and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not talking, the Alice in Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. I'm talking like the original movie all about her. And then when you go to Disney World and you meet the live person who plays Alice, my kids have some of the best character interactions with that character. So I'm gonna go with Alice. So I got Goku, Tommy Pickles, Scooby-Doo, Pikachu, and Alice. Justin's got Peter Griffin, Michelangelo, Homer Simpson, Bender, and Tomato. So Justin, with all these characters you got here, you're clearly the partier.
Hey, I'll drink to that.
Like the comedian Nate, camera's going a little funky, but Nate, you went Randy Marsh, you went Arnold, you went Cleveland Brown, you went Butters and Sully. So there's a lot of, I guess it's cartoons, so they're all going to be funny, but I think you can see. And then maybe I went weird because Scooby-Doo and Alice on the same. Maybe my guys are just like, a little bit of the weird ones, or I don't know how to describe my group. But that's it. That went a little longer than planned, but I had a lot of fun with it. But now we're going into an even more fun segment. We're going to the bathroom board. So the way this started was a few weeks, like when we first started the show, we clearly don't agree on everything, and especially when we started doing rankings. So what we decided, we had a board, and every time we disagree on something or we feel strongly on opposite ends, we've been saying, hey, put that on the bathroom board, put that on the bathroom board. And basically, it's where we're going to go. We're going to write these things down, and we can look at them at the end of the season, and we can see who was right about the player, who was wrong about the player. We're going to have a point system for each, thing. We got like 2 categories of the bathroom board. One is bets that we're going to go through first, like basically 1 versus 1. And then we got bold predictions that are going to be worth more points. So at the end of the season, we're going to tally up points. We're going to look at the bathroom board. We'll have an episode going back talking about, how everything went. And we're going to decide what we win or lose, if we win or lose. So hopefully you guys listening can tweet at us and tell us. Nothing too crazy. I don't want to get too crazy, but something that is worthy of a bathroom board, victory. You guys got anything to say about this bathroom board before we start?
I will say that I'm lacking on some of these, but I will make sure to add some. But me not being involved in some of the like I said, I had my rankings in, but was at work a lot of the times when you guys were recording, so I didn't get to throw my 2 cents in. I wouldn't even say it's 2 cents. It's like half a cent in, So like I said, I'll get a few more here. We'll get some so we can get all evened out so I can make sure I lose equally as, the same. So.
I expect that. You're a busy man. We have episodes planned, and then Nate's got to go, fix the electric so, a town can go to bed with a nightlight on. If Nate's not fixing the electric, then, there's kids going to bed without nightlights on. You can't have that.
No.
So we're going to go directly into this thing. These are all worth 1 point. And these are just the side bet portion. And this first one is probably the biggest talking point of the offseason. And this one's a little tough for me right now because of an injury concern. But so before I get into breaking it down, I got David Montgomery, who is our running back 23, averaged out. I'm going to list all the rankings based upon what our average. Go to fusionffb.com. We teamed up with Joshua. We sent our rankings in. He added his rankings, and then there's a cumulative average. So averaged out, David Montgomery is running back 23. That's the guy I think is going to score more in PPR. Justin has Miles Sanders, who's our running back 13. Just so you know where I had them ranked, I had Monty at running back 21 and Miles at running back 18. So not that far. Justin, on the other hand, has Monty at running back 21 and Miles at RB 10. So he has them way off. So I do have Miles ahead of Monty, but I think they're a lot closer than most people are making them seem. So that's why I'm willing to take this bet. Right now, David Montgomery's got 3 to 4 weeks out, so he's probably going to miss the first week or two. But I will not be surprised if Miles Sanders gets hurt at some point too, because he hasn't carried a whole workload for an offense, except for his last year at Penn State. That's the first time he did it. And also, Monty's a little banged up, but Miles Sanders, his offensive line is banged up. He's losing guys left and right there, so I think that kind of evens itself out. What are you thinking about this, Justin?
I mean, I'm still happy with the bet. I obviously I do think that it's a little bit closer than I originally had anticipated. And after talking to you about it, like this was the first bet for a reason. Like it's the one where you and I actually had a full-on verbal discussion about 2 guys that we disagreed with and decided, hey, we need to put this down, pen to paper, and start a list. And so it's been a while now. So, but I will admit that since that night, I now have several shares of Monty through different drafts and redrafts that I have, and now all of a sudden it's not as pretty, but I don't think this injury is going to last for a real long time.
Yeah, so this was the bet that started the bathroom board. So once we actually do create our bathroom board, maybe we'll have a graphic one day that we could throw in the background, like of our YouTube channel. These two, their faces should be like on this board, Monty and Miles, because again, they created this thing. Now Steve says Miles all day. That's fine. But guess what? We're going to find out. We're going to find out very soon. That's why we're doing this episode tonight, because the talking is about to end and results are about to come. So, Nate, Steve wants to see your pretty face. So,
yeah, I'm trying to get it figured out. I don't know. So this can be
Nate likes to keep it as a mystery. He doesn't want to show off all the goods. All right. So Nate likes to be the mysterious type. All right. So the fact that you want to see more, that's exactly what he's going for. Okay.
He's our Batman.
He's got, what was that?
He's our Batman.
Yes. So
that's a tall order.
You're a tall glass of milk, Nate. All right, the next one here. This is another good one. I took Philip Lindsay. Justin took Melvin Gordon. And Philip Lindsay is our consensus running back 30. Melvin Gordon is our consensus running back 17. But I had Lindsay at 29 and Melvin Gordon at 25. So, again, the guy that I took, I'm not even higher on, but I have them close. So, it's almost for principle. I think they're a lot closer than people are making them seem. That's why I'm willing to take this bet. Justin has Lindsay at 33 and Melvin Gordon at 16. So they're, 17 picks higher. So, I think Philip Lindsay has clawed, toothed, and scratched his way to starting running back the last 2 seasons, 1,000 yards the last 2 seasons, explosive as hell. This is just a chip on his shoulder. I think this is just fuel. Like, this is the type of cat we've only seen him hungry. And maybe if they said this is your job, he'd lose some of that hunger. But no, what do? They go in and bring Melvin Gordon, which I think just adds fuel to the fire for this cat. And he's catching the ball well. He's explosive. And I really can see him passing Melvin Gordon this year. Justin, what are your thoughts?
I guess for me, this one was just kind of easy because even if they are kind of close, I think I said this when we made the bet, I think they're both overrated running backs for what they do.
I remember you saying that.
And so if I have to choose one, I'm going to choose the one that they just went out of their way to go pick up and sign. That's most likely clearly going to be the starter. And that's why I have him ranked so much higher too. And I mean, Gordon is more capable in my mind anyway. I know it's not the popular opinion, but I do think he's more productive in the passing game when they need to utilize him there. And I think he can play all 4 downs. They're not going to, obviously. They're still going to use Lindsay just based off of his history. But I think they'll find out pretty quick that Gordon is just the better back.
We will find out very soon. Next one. This one's a juicy one. I got Nick Chubb. That's who I'm taking. Our running back 8. You have Derrick Henry, and this is PPR. So far, everything just, for background is PPR. Everything we're choosing. So I have Nick Chubb, our running back 8. Justin has Derrick Henry, our running back 6. I have Chubb 7 and Henry 8. So I do have Chubb 1 spot ahead of Henry. Justin has Chubb 9 and Henry 4. I just think Chubb is – I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. And he's looked great since he came into the NFL. Henry is solid, but I think Henry's already reached his ceiling. I think he's going to have a great year. But I think Chubb is going to take a step. I think, I'm not worried about Kareem Hunt there. I don't think Baker Mayfield's a great quarterback. The only way they're going to win, now if they get behind, maybe they're going to use Kareem Hunt more out of the backfield and passing downs. But I think they're going to try to run the ball, establish that offensive ground pound. And I'm fine with Chubb here. So, Justin, what's your thoughts on this bet?
Well, my one of my bold bets or my later on is that Nick Chubb is going to perform so well that he'll be a top 5 ADP next season. So I do think that Nick Chubb is going to have an incredible season. And with it being PPR, obviously I am a little bit scared here. But I also do believe that Henry is not only the focal point of that offense, but he pretty much is the offense outside of maybe Brown. So I think he's going to see all the opportunity he did last season. If he stays healthy, that's the big thing. For him to stay healthy, having that much of a load 2 seasons in a row for a running back it would be pretty wild. But if he does, I see no reason why he can't continue to be the rushing leader. So if he's the rushing leader, that'll make up for a lot of those PPR misses.
This one's close. This one's like I have them both 1 spot apart in my ranking. So this is a juicy one. Now the next one, this is board. Top running backs in PPR. He's our consensus RB13. Nate says it will happen. Justin says it will not happen. Just so you know, Nate has Fournette at running back 10, so just outside, but Justin has him at RB 15. So Nate, tell us why Leonard Fournette is going to be a top 5 running back.
It's all about workload, and I think he's going to get more than enough. I think Minshew's going to dump the ball off to him quite a bit too. I think Gardner's taken a step ahead. He's shown that he can do it, and I think having Fournette back there is going to be very, very helpful. And he he's looking to make some money, and the only way to do that is show what he can do. And he's shown it before. So like I said, if I can take him in the like I said, third, fourth round, it seems like I'm taking him all day long.
I think that's definitely something to be said, that it is a contract year, because if he's going to do it, this is the year he's going to do it. Now, Justin, why isn't he going to be top 5?
Honestly, I think this was just an opportunity bet for me because of the sheer numbers of it. Because in my mind, you got your top 5, you got your CMC, your Zeke, your Saquon. I've already said that I think Chubb's going to have an incredible year and could be top 5, but yet Henry's going to outperform him. So right there's 5. I just think it's a numbers thing, and obviously you're going to have somebody that backs out, and you're going to have a guy like Aaron Jones that comes out of nowhere. It very well could be Fournette, but I've been on the Fournette bandwagon a lot more of late. I even posted in the Fusion chat with Joshua and our group over there earlier, asking what I'm missing about Fournette and why his ADP is so low, because I definitely see him outperforming his ADP for sure. Like you're buying him at the very low end. I think it was Beryl Joffrey actually that mentioned that, and it's a great point. You're buying him at the low end of his draft capital. Like he's going to outperform a third or fourth round option. So it's not beyond a realm of possibility that he's going to be a top 5. I just think there's so many that could be that I'm trying to kind of play the odds on this one. It's about getting the points and winning the total overall board for me than it is proving
I know.
This next one is I like this one a lot. Preston Williams, PPR. I have him. Justin has Devontae Parker. Preston Williams is our consensus wide receiver 61. Devontae Parker is our consensus wide receiver 35. So as you can tell, I get bold. I'm not afraid to take the underdog, as I've taken the underdog in all of these. I have Preston Williams at 45 and Devontae Parker at wide receiver 42. So this is another instance where I'm taking a guy that I have ranked lower, but they're so close that, again, I'm willing to. Justin has Preston at 65 and Devontae at 41. I know Justin's going to tell me he was hurt last year. He didn't get much time to practice because COVID and everything. But I think I've seen the best of Devontae Parker. And when Preston was playing last year, he was startable. He was startable at times last year until he got hurt as a rookie. So he's not coming into a rookie season trying to get, establish himself with Fitzpatrick. I think he already has. And I think Fitzpatrick, nobody has. I think Preston's a special wide receiver, and I think you're going to see special things from him. I'm excited about going into their second year. Preston Williams, Darius Slayton, and Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin, I think, is the highest of them all, but I think Preston Williams has that ceiling, and I'm excited to see it. I hope he continues to rise because last year he looked great. Justin, what are your thoughts?
It's just the knee, man. It's the only thing that scares me from Preston Williams, because unless he is a Larry Fitzgerald or a Adrian Peterson type guy, he most likely, again, by the numbers, he's probably going to be more like a Darius Geis or one of the other 98% of guys that are coming off of a major knee injury late in the season. They almost always need one full season to really get their legs under him, to get the speed of the game back. And I just don't think that's going to be enough time for him to fully develop back into being the player they want him to be. The only way would be if they really let him sit out a little bit longer or take it easy on him. And if they do that, he's not going to get the numbers either. Talent-wise, he's a better wide receiver than Devontae Parker. I mean, I would put either one of you two up against Devontae Parker and feel pretty confident. but it's the only thing that scares me is that knee.
Now, maybe the lack of an offseason helped his knee recover. He didn't have to go to 2 days. He didn't have to start training. So, it's possible, but now also another guy, Emmanuel Sanders, came back off an Achilles. That's incredible. So I know AP gets credit, Larry Fitzgerald gets credit, but coming back from Achilles, you never see that. And that was probably one of the most impressive recoveries, especially at his age. So he gets props too. All right, the next one here, I got CeeDee Lamb, who's our wide receiver 37. Justin's got Michael Gallup, who's our wide receiver 32. I have Lamb at 28. I might move him up higher. I got Gallup at 37. Justin has Lamb at 37 and Gallup at 29. I'm hearing from Cowboys camp, because I follow the beat writers, that CeeDee Lamb is killing it. And I said on my Cowboys breakdown today that David Hellman from DallasCowboys.com people were asking about Dez, because of the 88, and he was like, they were saying, has he lived up to the hype? Is he worthy of the number one pick? And he said, like, this isn't a guy to blow smoke. You know what I mean? He's actually more of a contrarian, is that a word, than, a smoke blower. So he said that CD is doing things this camp that they came to expect Dez to do at his prime in camp. Like, that's how effortless he's making things. I wouldn't be surprised, if he pushes Amari Cooper for the number one wide receiver spot. So I'm drinking the CD Lamb Kool-Aid. Why you drink? What? Tell me why I'm wrong and why you're right.
Well, I'm glad that I'm really confident in most of my other bets because I feel like I've screwed the pooch on this one.
Come at me.
I think I might have missed it, but I'm just not big on rookie wide receivers. I never have been, and traditionally that has really helped benefit me to not trust rookie wide receivers. But I also said when we made the bet that if a rookie wide receiver is out there that will prove me wrong, is going to be CeeDee Lamb. And I totally agree with you that I mean,
Gallup's a wide receiver one in most offenses.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get that. But now that you've reminded me of how far apart I have them in my rankings, I'm glad you mentioned that because I had completely forgot. I'm going to have to make some adjustments to that before my big draft on Sunday, for sure. I think I'm at the very least, I need to make it a little closer. I do think that CeeDee's going to be more involved than I thought.
I had to go back on, and I adjusted my rankings like a week ago. Deebo Samuel, I had to move up. There was a lot of guys. That's why it's nice to have it written down somewhere. And Josh put it in a nice system where we can just adjust numbers. So I might do it one more time, one look over before the season, because I probably won't. I'll do weekly rankings, but like that's our template. And people are getting ready for their redrafts. So go to fusionffb.com. Most of my big money redrafts are right before the season. So we're trying to crunch those numbers to get them as perfect as they can be for you guys when those drafts come. So fusionffb.com, you can see our rankings. All right, this next one is Justin versus Shane. Shane's a friend of the show. Justin has Chris Godwin, wide receiver 6, versus Shane's DJ Moore, wide receiver 7. Justin has Godwin 5 and Moore 7. So Justin, tell me why Chris Godwin's going to finish better than DJ Moore in PPR.
Because Chris Godwin is the best wide receiver that Tom Brady has had since Randy Moss, and he had Randy Moss later on in his years. So I would venture to say that it's possible Godwin could even be better than that. Plus, he plays out of the slot a lot, and he loves his slot receivers. He always loved Edelman. He always loved Welker. I feel like he elevated those players and made them better than who they really were, mostly because he's had trouble with that distance long ball, because I'm going to throw that shot in there as a Colts fan. But obviously Brady is a smart athlete. He uses his head. He's going to know who his athletes are. But I also think Mike Evans is going to tear it up as well.
That's Nate's guy. If you're listening to this,
oh yeah, no, I'm not knocking on Mike Evans by any means. Don't get me wrong, but he's got that catch radius that can really help with some of that inaccuracy at Brady's age too. He's not going to be afraid to throw it up there now that he's got somebody, especially in the red zone. I still really like Mike
Evans. So I think they're both going to feast in the red zone.
Yeah, and if you listen to J.J. Zacharyson, he said that every single year, I forget how long, it's like the last 16 years or something crazy like that, there's been at least one wide receiving duo, if not two, that both finished in the top 12 in fantasy football. And if you look around the league at the possible wide receiver tandems out there, there's not very many out there that are quite this talented. So I got to say that this is going to be the one this year. But that's not a knock on DJ Moore either. Don't get me wrong. I think he's athletic, but I don't think he has. He just doesn't have Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's got Teddy Two Gloves. Quite a step down.
Big time. I had to make a decision on either Kenny Galladay or DJ Moore earlier, and luckily DJ Moore went prior to my pick, so I took Kenny Galladay. All right, next one. Courtland Sutton, our wide receiver 22. I'm taking Sutton, and Justin's taking T.Y. Hilton. He's our wide receiver 26. This is the first time I'm taking the guy who we have higher. Just so everybody who's keeping track at home knows, I'm the underdog over here. I have Sutton 19 and Hilton 27. Justin has Sutton 24 and Hilton 19. I've done enough talking. Justin, you tell me why I'm wrong and why you're right.
I think I've adjusted it a little bit since then, but I think Phillip Rivers is going to be Phillip Rivers, and he's just going to throw the ball up. And T.Y. is a speedy receiver. He's not a 50-50 guy, which kind of concerns me. He's not a go up and go get it kind of guy. He's more of a sit in the open spot in the zone and get the good catch and dive forward for an extra 3 yards before the defender gets to him kind of guy. But I think in this offense, with the turnovers that are going to come from Phillip Rivers, they're going to need to rely on his speed a little bit more to get downfield. And he has proven that he can do that as well. He's a speedy guy. I just think it's not going to be a pass heavy offense. It's going to be a very efficient offense. And I had to get my homer pick in there. So if I'm going to bet on a guy, I'm going to bet on a guy that's been good to me over the years.
I respect that. I think Sutton's the alpha there. I think Locke will take a step. I think actually having Judy helps him out. And my thing with T.Y. Hilton, he's one of those guys that, I kind of crossed off my list when drafting. I just feel like the injury concerns there. But he's got, even Lockett I crossed off my list. But, Lockett proved me wrong last year. He balled out. So, but I do think Michael Pittman is going to be very good in that offense. I think Paris Campbell's going to be, but like I said, Sutton has to deal with Jerry Jeudy. So it's kind of equal there. And Rivers is a better quarterback than Locke, but let's see if Locke takes a step. So this one might be pretty close. This one might come down to the wire. So, and especially if Hilton's healthy. So hopefully he stays healthy for the sake, for himself and for fantasy owners, but also for the sake of this little bet here. Next one, all right. I have Amari Cooper. He's our wide receiver 12. You have Adam Thielen. He's our wide receiver 13. I have Cooper 10 overall and Thielen 16 overall. You have Cooper 18 overall and Thielen wide receiver 9. So they're pretty close as, where I have Cooper and you have Thielen 9 and 10. Now, I just think Amari Cooper is I think he's a back-end wide receiver 1. I think he's going to have wide receiver 1 weeks, but I think he's going to consistently be, no less than like wide receiver 15. Now, I think he's going to be able to do a lot more and not have to worry about, not have the weight of having to be the wide receiver 1, having CeeDee Lamb there. And, will he have weeks where he gets 6-7 points? Yes, but he's also going to have weeks where he scores 20 points. So I think Amari Cooper continues to feast. He's an excellent route runner, great hands. He just knows how to get open. And I think that's very quarterback friendly. So, but I guess Thielen, a lot of things, same things could be said about Thielen, and Thielen's got less competition. So why don't you tell me why I'm wrong?
So I think Amari and Thielen both are going to have those huge games where they have, one long touchdown or 2 touchdowns in a long play, and they're going to excel because that's what both of them have done over their careers. But then the games where Amari kind of disappears will be the games that Thielen is still getting decent average wide receiver 2 numbers. So I just think over the course of the season, Thielen's going to be more consistent, and that'll help show out at the end.
All right, this next one's a fun one. You have Curtis Samuel, who's our wide receiver 45. I have Hunter Renfrow, who's our wide receiver 52. I have Samuel 48 and Renfrow 42. You have Samuel 42 and Renfrow 51. I know Samuel has less competition for targets. I know Renfro's got a lot of guys around him. Brian Edwards looks good. They drafted Henry Ruggs. They got Lynn Bowden. I just think they're both not great. And I just think Renfro's a better wide receiver than Curtis Samuel. And I think they're going to find I think John Gruden likes Renfrow. I think Carr does. And I don't think Renfro is going to be the guy that's catching 15 balls. But I think he's going to move the chains. He's going to be a first down guy. They're going to go to him, 5 to 7 times a game. And that'll be enough for him to pass Curtis Samuel. He's a better wide receiver, in my opinion.
I think between the two of them, Renfro's the one that I would want to have on my fantasy team, just because I think, especially with this Tyrell Williams injury, if it wasn't for the Tyrell Williams injury, I probably wouldn't be saying that. But he's got more of a spotlight on him now, and I guess from what I'm seeing in camp, he's showing that he's a capable wide receiver. He does have the speed real quick off of the line of scrimmage. I've noticed that his explosion off the line of scrimmage. I don't know if it's because he's explosive or if he's playing in practice against the Raiders defense, but he is exploding off of that offensive line. And if he's given this spotlight and he can do something with it, then he could be a key piece in this offense all season. And if I remember right, when I did the Raiders breakdown, I think Renfro was the guy I said had 2 huge weeks at the end of the season last year. Like he was a wide receiver 6 overall and wide receiver 8 overall, those last 2 in PPR anyway, in those last 2 weeks. So that's kind of huge too. It's kind of letting your coach Gruden know, hey, listen, I'm still here. Don't forget about me. And now with Williams out, he's got this opportunity. It is possible for sure, but I just think with Tyrell Williams healthy, there's way too many people and not enough balls, and that's why I went with Curtis Samuel. But I do think that Renfro is the better athlete.
Yeah, so I've been dishing out the Hunter Renfro, in our group chat. I've been dishing out the Hunter Renfro Kool-Aid, since like May. So I think, again, I don't think he's a wide receiver 1, but I think he's going to creep his way into wide receiver 3 territory. That's startable. That's a weekly startable. So, all right, this next one, Nate, you're finally back on the board. Nate did not leave the episode if you're listening at home. He's still here. But me and Justin, we've done so much yapping. We fill up this board. Nate's trying to find his way to squeeze in here. So this one's a great one. I got Cooper Kupp. He's our wide receiver 9. And Nate's got Calvin Ridley. He's our wide receiver 13. Just so you know, I have Kupp 9, Ridley 12. And Nate has, same Kupp 9, Ridley 12, but he was willing to give me the better guy in this one because this is kind of similar to the Monty Miles thing where it's close enough that I think so. So, Nate, why don't you tell me why Calvin Ridley's going to finish in PPR better than Cooper Kupp?
Well, I think one big thing is the guy on the other side of the field is going to take the number 1 every week, week in, week out. He's got one of the best in the game across from him. So, he's facing, the team's second guy, and not saying that that's it, but he's phenomenal. And I think that his best is yet to come. And I don't think it's going to be this year. It might not even be next year. And, I trust Matt Ryan throwing the ball a lot more than Jared Goff. Not that I am super far down on Goff, but, I'm not down on Cooper Kupp by any means. But I just, I got to do some ranking adjustment for sure because I think Ridley's climbing my board, and I own a lot of shares of him in Dynasty, so that might have something to do with it too.
Yeah, I was drinking the Calvin Ridley Kool-Aid last year. I still think he's a great, wide receiver, and having Julio on the other side, Calvin Ridley reminds me a lot of Amari Cooper, and I know that could sound like, lazy analysis. They're both, Alabama wide receivers, but both of them just know how to get open and like wide open, and I could see if a Cooper. So I think Calvin Ridley, I think he's going to have big plays and a little more touchdowns. But where Cooper Kupp is going to catch him in PPR is with the consistent 9-10 receptions. So, I think Ridley will have like 5 to 7, like I said with Renfro, a touchdown, 100 yards. And then Kupp will have like 8 or 9 receptions, 90 yards, So it's just going to be consistent. He's going to be chipping away. So this is another one I got my eye on. This one's going to be pretty close. Nate, you're back on with me again. I got Anthony Miller. He's our wide receiver 57. You have Alan Lazard. He's our wide receiver 54. I have Miller 41 and Lazard 48. So, and then you have Miller 50 and Lazard 45. So I think Anthony Miller, I loved him coming out of Memphis. My biggest knock to Anthony Miller is Mitchell Trubisky. You think that, the guy like another guy like Miller, who's, again, like Calvin Ridley, like those shorter slot receivers who just know how to get open. He's a little more physical. He's a little more aggressive. He's a little better after the catch. You figure a guy who knows how to get open would be quarterback friendly, but it's like, not only do you need to get open, you need to have a tremendous catch radius to help Mitch Trubisky. And that's why Allen Robinson does so well. He can just go up and get it. But, Miller, I think, is going into his 3rd or 4th year. It's time for a breakout. He had points last year where he looked good. So I'm thinking Anthony Miller outplays Alan Lazard. Tell me why you think Lazard's going to outplay Anthony Miller.
I mean, you pretty much said it for me. He's got Trubisky can't complete a throw. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Packers fan. I mean, come on, man. Like, I don't know how you miss some of the throws that you watch, week in, week out. And, Lazard has gained Rodgers' trust. I think he's the clear wide receiver 2 right now. I don't think that's going to change. And I think that, he showed last year, what he can do. And I don't think, Devontae's there, but I don't think that that's going to, it shouldn't be too tough. I don't know. And I like Anthony Miller too. And I don't know if he's even the number 2 on the team, or, not to say wide receiver 2, but, the second target on the team or the third target. Because, Tariq Cohen's going to, I think Mitch can make that throw, like the 2-yard dump off out of the backfield, but maybe not. But, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't think they know where the ball's going most of the time.
I heard somebody say, I don't know if it was a Packers beat writer or there was a tweet that said, get used to hearing Rodgers to Lazard over the middle. It's become like just a thing in camp, and Lazard's going to move the chains, kind of like Keyshawn Johnson. I was a Lazard guy coming out of Iowa State. When I was at Dynasty Warzone, I wrote an article. I did a series where basically I listed like the 3 top prospects at a position. I said, if you didn't get these 3, here are guys. And I only talked about 4 or 5 guys. One of them I talked about was Michael Gallup, who I love Dallas getting him. And then I wrote about Allen Lazard too. So, when he fell, so after Allen Lazard, I was really high on Kelvin Harmon. So I just thought I missed on Lazard, missed on Harmon, and now seeing Lazard come back is making me feel like maybe I do know what I'm talking about. And it makes me have some hope for a Kelvin Harmon, even though he got hurt. So that's definitely gonna hurt his stock, no pun intended. But Allen Lazard, he's a dude, but I also like Anthony Miller. So this is an interesting one. All right, the next one is a little quarterback battle. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Steve chimed in. He said Lazard has a quarterback. Miller doesn't.
That's true.
That's simple.
But he has Nick Foles waiting in the wings, so we'll see. And then Anthony Miller, he might not have a quarterback this year, but if that quarterback keeps playing like that, he might have one next year. And it might be Justin Fields, Trey Lance, or Trevor Lawrence, depending on how bad the Bears do. So that's coming down the pipe. But this bet's not for next year. It's for this year. So Steve is correct. All right, this next one's a quarterback competition between me and Justin. I have Matt Ryan, who's our quarterback 8. Justin has Aaron Rodgers, who's our quarterback 11. And I'm sure Nate's going to be listening real close to what Justin has to say about Aaron Rodgers over here. I have Ryan QB7 and Rodgers QB12. You have Ryan QB15 and Rodgers 8. So you tell me why Rodgers over Ryan.
I've changed that. It is a lot closer, but I don't think I'm going to say anything that Nate doesn't already know. We have a very pissed off Aaron Rodgers. And the last time we played a very pissed off quarterback in Green Bay, Brett Favre had a pretty darn good season as an old man. And I feel very strong that Rodgers with the new coaching staff is going to have a little bit more liberty and a little bit more say-so in doing what he wants to do without getting backlash. I mean, let's face it, he's already going to do what he wants to do. So this way, I think it'll be a little bit less backlash. It'll be a little bit less questioning in the back of his mind as to what he's going to hear on the sidelines when he gets over there. So he's going to feel less pressure on that end. And I see a pretty big season for Aaron Rodgers coming up this season. I'm excited about it.
I just don't know who to throw the ball to. Who's he going to throw besides Devontae? Like, I know Allen Lazard, but Allen Lazard is, like I said, Lazard over the middle. So they're going to be like chipping away. I just don't see with Ryan, I see Julio, Calvin Ridley, enter Todd Gurley. I just see, Todd Gurley isn't as good as Aaron Jones was last year. But I think Julio and Ridley, I just see explosive plays in Atlanta, and I just see consistent quality in Green Bay. That's what I see.
The one thing that I think is going to, well, I mean, like I said, call me home or whatever, but what I've been hearing, I think what they're trying to do with Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, run a lot of 12 personnel, open up a lot of play action, and Aaron Rodgers is pretty good play action pass-wise. I think that's going to help. And all I'm hearing out of camp is that he's dropping dimes and throwing socket signs to the DBs. So he's having some fun. And
dropping dimes and throwing sucket signs?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Put that on a T-shirt.
I know. That's what I'm hearing.
Put that on a T-shirt. Dropping dimes and throwing sucket signs. So
man, I love to hear that. That's the Aaron Rodgers that makes the NFL better.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers, I have bad dreams about Aaron Rodgers and some of the shit he's done to the Cowboys. He's tortured me. So DeMarco Murray, we were the Dez caught a game. Everybody blames the catch. We were up like 10. DeMarco Murray had a hole that Moses could have led his people through. It was that wide, and Julius Peppers hits him in the arm and he fumbles, and that's the game. I can't. The Packers crushed me the last whatever. All right, this next one here, it's another quarterback one. Cam, he's our quarterback for 14. I have him as a top 10 quarterback Justin says no. I have Cam as our QB 14. You have him as a QB 17. So it's a little bit of a reach for me, but I do think it could happen. I don't think Stidham's the guy at all. I think they got to start Cam every week. And like you said about Rodgers, with the pissed off Rodgers, I think you got a pissed off Cam. I've seen some videos, and that dude looks like he's in phenomenal shape. He looks like he's ready to carry an offense. Him and Edelman seem to be on the same page. Let's see if N'Keal Harry takes a step. And, I think Cam, with a few rushing touchdowns, could be like right at QB 10. So why not, Justin?
I mean, sure. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess I could see it happening. I've never been big on thinking that Cam Newton's going to make it 16 games. First of all, that seems like a pipe dream, really. 13 games, maybe points per game, but that wasn't the bet. So top 10 overall on the season, I just don't see it happening.
Okay, that's fair. All right, this next one, we're almost done with these bets, and then we got to get to our bold predictions. We're already past an hour, guys, so I'm going to try to tighten this up for you. We got Hayden Hurst. He's our tight end 12. Justin has him. And Joshua, our friend from Fusion Fantasy Football, has Jonnu Smith. He's our tight end 11. He says that, Jonnu's going to finish 4.5 spots higher than Hurst. Is that the bet?
No, I gave him a 4.5 position cushion. I gave him points in this.
So you're saying Hurst is going to finish 4.5 spots higher than Jonnu. Okay.
Yes. And my reasoning for that is because in the second half of the season last year, while Derrick Henry was tearing it up and Tannehill was extremely efficient because the run game was tearing it up, and he was able to be efficient and hit his targets in pace or in stride, had an incredible season. During all that time, and without Delaney Walker on the field, and with Jonnu being one of the main focal points in that offense, he still only averaged 3.5 targets per game. There just is not enough targets to go in that offense. So I'm not going to put any kind of stock in Jonnu outside of a later round pick. And by then, there's other tight ends that I like, that you guys know I like. So I'm going to move on without him. So.
All right, sorry, I'm signaling our guy. Nate had to step out. All right, Nate. That's fair. He might be coming back. Just to make sure everything's all right. I don't know. He might come back. He might not. But we're going to keep the show rolling because that's what we do. Next one, Dallas Goedert. He's our tight end 15. I'm taking my guy Goedert. You're taking Hayden Hurst. You've already talked about Hayden Hurst, so I'm going to spare that. Dallas Goedert is my tight end 13. I have Hurst tight end 15. Dallas Goedert, he's really close to my heart because I had him in tight end premium leagues last year, and he helped me win a few of those leagues. That guy got it done with or without Ertz. There's not a lot of passing options in Philly right now. Guys are going down left and right. Ertz is always an injury concern. So I think Dallas Goedert, I think he's going to finish somewhere between 10 and 13. Hurst, on the other hand, I haven't seen him do it. Right, he wasn't first fiddle, and Mark Andrews is the dude. But even I think there was a week when Andrews went down, and Boyle outperformed Hurst. So I think Hurst is a great football player. I just don't know if he's a great receiving tight end. He's good after the catch. He's physical. He's a good blocker. You want him on your football team. But I think Goedert is more of the weapon in an offense where he's going to be expected to be that weapon. So that's why I have him ahead of Hurst. This next one, Jay Sternberger. He's our tight end 20. You say he's a top 12 tight end. I say no. I have him at 20. You have him at 18. So that's a little higher than where you have him. Why is he going to be a top 12 tight end?
Because angry Aaron Rodgers needs somebody to throw to, just like you said. He already needs somebody to throw to. And during that, I already went over that one playoff game last season was the first game and really the only game that Sternberger played last year. And Rodgers, when he came off from the snap, he would look up, and the first place he looked was to see where Sternberger was. Every single, not Devontae Adams, not anyone else, not Aaron Jones. He was looking for Sternberger all along, and he didn't throw it to him a whole lot. But when he did, he had a couple catches. He had a touchdown. Who's going to trust a rookie in that situation in the playoffs, in that spot after he's missed the entire season with an injury, and let him come back and catch a touchdown pass from the great Aaron Rodgers? Like, that takes a lot of trust. So this is a gut pick more than anything. And my gut is large enough that I cannot avoid it. So
I love it. I love it. All right, these next three here, Nate's not here. I'm just going to drop them. Drop them as in say them, and then we're going to move on to our bold predictions. We don't have to talk too much about our bold predictions. We're just going to state them, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. So I have Noah Font, and he has Sternberger. We already talked about Sternberger, PPR, so just straight up, not claiming who's going to be whatever. It's just claiming I have Font over Sternberger. I think that one is signed, sealed, delivered. I think Font is that good. I think Font could be top 5 tight end this year. I think Font could be this year's Mark Andrews. Put that down. All right. I have Cowboys win total. Nate has Packers win total. That is just a fun one there. So we'll see how that one goes. We both have our rooting interest there. And then he has Fournette, and I have Gurley. So that's another one that's going to be interesting. We already talked about Fournette earlier. I brought up Gurley a little earlier. So those are the three, that me and Nate have now to, wrap those up. So those are the 1 point each. Okay, so each one of those is 1 point. And the next one here are bold predictions. They're each worth 3 points. Okay, so I'm going to start with mine. This one was the first one that came to me. I think this was the one that created the bold prediction idea for this. I just envisioned Russell Wilson going down with a season-ending injury, and I could see the Hawks drafting his successor in the top 3 rounds of next year's rookie draft. So I'm thinking Russ goes down. They got a lot of money invested in him, and maybe they want to go young. They draft, a young cat who's planned to be, Russ might come back next year and play, but he's going to have somebody behind him first 3 rounds. So I'm seeing Russ go down and then drafted.
I can hear the Seahawks fans unfollowing us right now as we speak.
I mean, Russ was a guy that, where was he picked? 3rd or 4th round, maybe 2nd, I don't know. But he was a guy who was taken a little later. So they know.
4th round, I believe.
So there we go. So it could happen, man. The next one I have is Marcus Mariota will park Carr on the bench. I like that. He's going to start more games than Derek Carr. Even if it's just 9-7, I think that Gruden's just going to wait for an opportunity to put him in, and once he does, I just envision Mariota being this year's Tannehill. Him finding a place there, getting comfortable, and revitalizing his career. So I see that. Next one, Rivers goes. There's a theme here. Quarterbacks going down. Rivers goes down, and I could see Jacob Eason and Jonathan Taylor. My God, this kid probably going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. I'm already putting him in like the top 3 rounds of redraft leagues. And so Rivers goes down. Eason and Taylor carry the Colts to the playoffs. Jot that one down. It's happening. And my final one, Terry McLaurin and Cortland Sutton will both finish PPR top 15 wide receivers. Both of them going into the second year. Cortland Sutton's a dude. Terry McLaurin's a hell of a dude. I think they both finished top 15. McLaurin above Sutton. McLaurin even may finish top 10. So those are my bold predictions. Justin, let's hear yours.
Well, real quick, I just want to say if you make it a bold prediction that every quarterback in the NFL is going to get hurt, then you're going to get one right?
Yeah. I could keep going, but
all right, we'll let Nate do his the next time we can get him on. So my bold predictions, I'm going to start off with a big one. Derrick Henry will have more all-purpose yards in 2020 than the rest of the AFC South starting running backs in total in rushing. So his all-purpose yards, I'm talking receiving, rushing, if he throws a pass, all of that combined with just him alone, Derrick Henry alone, will outdo the rushing totals for all of the starting running backs for the rest of the AFC South. So rushing totals for Fournette, Mack, and
David.
David Johnson.
My buddy calls him Dijon.
And I went ahead and threw in, as a little extra kicker to kind of parlay it, I'm throwing in Marlon Mack's receiving yards as well.
You're throwing that in because Mack shouldn't be the starter.
Well,
but you get it. You're allowed to have it.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's going to still get maybe, 150 receiving yards?
He's going to be number 1 on the depth chart to start the year. So it's in this.
Right.
I respect
his 150 receiving yards on the season, though, I think Henry will get that in the fourth quarter alone of one game. So, all right.
What would be bold? Imagine if I took Taylor over Henry.
That would be bold. That would be bold.
Maybe that we'll talk. Keep going. Let's keep going.
All right. So my next one, not one single player will have more than 18 total pass defense for the regular season. This stems from my man John Sheps here in his first flag football tournament this year. He himself in the tournament alone, just one weekend, had 18 total. What?
8 games.
8 games, had 18 total pass defense. So he was clearly playing in a flag football league with 4th graders. And now I'm playing. And so he had 18 in 8 games. So I did a Google search. I tried to do some research, and it looks like the guy in the NFL that typically has the most pass defense in one season, every season, usually is right around 22, 24. It's never, as far back as I went, it never dropped below, I think, like 19 or 20. So I'm calling it a bold prediction. I'm going to say that there's not going to be one. And the reason I'm popping that number out there is because I will win this if COVID shortens the seasons by like 3 games. Sure. I got a good shot. So kind of throwing it out there, but also giving John some props here. So
appreciate it. I didn't get an interception that tournament though. I had one that was out of bounds, caught it, but then I had 2 last one. So we only played 4 games, but I had 2 INTs. So, it's one thing to bat the ball down. But when you get your hands on it, you got to take it in. So
didn't you put one to the house?
Yeah, from the back of the end zone too, like from the back line all the way to the other end zone. So that one felt pretty good.
You were over on the bench sucking in that oxygen, weren't you?
Yeah.
All right. So my next one is Alexander Madison will be an RB35, and Steven Sims will be. Oh, that should say wide receiver 25, not RB. I got that messed up. So Steven Sims, wide receiver 25 or better, and Madison, RB 35 or better. I don't think that Madison as an RB 35 is a huge bold statement. He is the backup, so he would need to get some kind of standalone value to hit 35, and I think he will. But so I decided to throw in the Sims thing as a parlay where I have to get them both, just so that I can kind of help lock it up, make it, and so I can call it a bold statement. So that's my bold prediction. I do think that Steven Sims is going to do really well in that offense because McLaurin helps open it up. And now my son is texting me like crazy right now.
Someone agrees with your bold predictions.
I'm going to shut this off real quick. All right. Next, I've got, I already teased it earlier. Chubb, he's going to have such an incredible year this year that he's going to be a top 5 ADP next season. And the other one that I had that I've already failed is Darius Geis. I said that his performance this season was going to be so huge that he was going to be a top 6 ADP next season, and that one was already an epic fail. So you guys,
that one don't count. That I respect you putting that on there as a foul, but the season hasn't counted.
Yeah,
it hasn't started. That one's done. So you got that one did 5 predictions. You got 4, but I respect your hustle. Putting it out there. That's called transparency right there. Yep,
exactly. Transparency. That's what I was going to say.
All right, so that does it, man, for the bathroom board. We went a little crazy with the cartoon character draft, but we wanted to have fun with this episode because from here on out, it's basically, we're going to be a week prior to the season next week. It's basically in-season episodes, and it's business. It's all about winning money, bringing home the cash, supporting your habit, right? So we're going to get business. But this was good. This was like the New Year's Eve party or the Christmas Eve party prior to the, the big day. So we had some fun, man. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Again, you can find us on Twitter at Toilets to Titles. The guy next to me, you could find him at JustinFF_. You could find me on Twitter at Coach Sheps. You could how you can listen to us, you may be asking. Apple Podcast, Podbean, Spotify, Periscope, or our YouTube channel. And if you're on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe to us on one of those. If you're listening to us via podcast, please go subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the like button, share it if you can, write a review. We're really trying to get this thing out there. Remember, every 50 follows, we're donating $10 to Fantasy Cares. I believe we're like 40 to hit it for the 4th time. Anything I'm missing, Justin?
No, I think I want to tease one thing. I'm going to try my best to put together a show that is just about the Frankenstank League and the kind of a recap of the draft, because I promised that to the guys before, and we just got really busy and we kind of had to push some things off, and that was one of the things that got pushed off. But I'd like to get one of those in before the season starts, and if it's scheduling doesn't work out, then I might even throw it in myself, because I mean it wouldn't be that difficult. But we'll try to figure that out. Other than that, I've got nothing, Coach. Just as always, just love each other.
All right, everybody, you heard it here. Just love each other. We really appreciate you. Looking forward to the season. It is right around the corner. We finally made it. It's a beautiful thing. Take care, everybody. Love each other. Be good.
Oh, I guess I have to hit the button.